Every compass points north, pulled by forces unseen. A magnetism in the mountains, at the top of the world. And tonight, this team could get there and raise an American flag. But driven in the same direction, partners who fell just short of their goal in the Alps. And a courageous couple back on their feet and back on the trail to a title. Every soul aims high. Something hidden in the high country compels them to climb. To a peak long predicted, never reached. To another level on the long ascent ahead. To the next plateau. To a place called home. Here in this northern outpost, the energy is strong. It draws the dreamers of the World Figure Skating Championships.
And we welcome you to night number 2 of our coverage here at the ISU World Figure Skating Championships presented by Olay. It's the second time that the city of Calgary, Alberta, Canada has hosted the World Championships. 9th time overall that it's been north of the border here in Canada. Another gold medal to be won tonight, that in the ice dance competition. You'll see that live. Also, the ladies, including Sasha Cohen with their short programs. But yesterday, the original dance took place. It set the stage for what we're about to see tonight. So right now, let's take a look back.
So many memorable moments in Canadian skating were born right here in Calgary. Marie-France Dubreuil and Patrice Lauzon hope this will be the place where they can finally lay to rest the memory of their horrific fall during their original dance at the Torino Games. All of Canada will be watching. Indeed, on this night, there'll be no escaping the lens. The American team of Tanith, BELBIN, and AGOSTO arrive at the Saddledome looking relaxed. The Olympic silver medalists are as comfortable before the cameras as they are on the ice. Just like all of the competitors in this intensely interpretive, evocative, and theatrical event. As Dubreuil and Lauzon prepare to take the ice, the tension mounts. Patrice must deal with the lingering anguish he carries from the Olympics. Selflessness has been his defining quality in support of his partner. But tonight, it is Marie-France who inspires with a playful moment of love and support. For now, Patrice can only envision success. But whatever the outcome, be prepared to face the reality.
Representing Canada, Marie-France Dubreuil and Patrice Lauzon.
A flawless performance, and they are back. On top of the standings and in front of the cameras. The French team of DELOBEL and SCHOENFELDER skated cleanly. But it wouldn't be enough to trump Dubreuil and Lauzon, which earns them a hug from Canadian dance star Shailene Bourne. The Bulgarians would be a different story. With their typical flash and flair, they skated lights out and into the lead. With so much superb skating already performed, Tanith BELBIN knew she and her partner would need to skate their best to be in contention for the podium. have a good skate, but it was only good enough for fourth, which does not sit well with BELBIN. At the World Championships, they have what is called the Little Medal, awarded to the top 3 teams after the original dance.
Patrice, Lauzon.
For the Canadian team, this medal is little, only in stature, but enormous in meaning. It signifies their triumphant return. And in the free skate, Dubreuil and Lauzon will skate last. By the end of the night, they hope to have another, more significant medal that will mean the world to them.
And that brings us up to the free dance with the gold medal out there to be won. The Bulgarians with the lead, Denkova and Staviski, but it's awfully close at the top. It's been wide open throughout the year, really, in ice dance, except for the Russians who won the Olympic gold. Dubreuil and Lauzon, what a story that would be. The crash in Torino back here at home. The Americans trying to come from behind. And the Italians, FAIELLA and SCALI, trying to pedal their way to the world podium as we continue here in Calgary. Morgan Matthews and Max Avosin of the U.S. took the ice in the free dance. Here's how Susie and I called it. (18 and 21 years of age, respectively. Matthews and Avosin, fourth at the U.S. Nationals. A young Team Susie in their first trip to the Senior Worlds. They found out on March 9th that they would be skating here as replacements for Jamie Silverstein, Ryan O'Meara.
But Terry, in practice, they've looked very prepared. They look like they belong. They're skating to El Tango du Roxanne. It has an edge to it. Dance, watch for the requirements. Up to 4 dance lifts, 2 different step sequences, dance spins, and turns on 1 foot called twizzles. Beautiful straight line lift, a beautiful position. And then they work a rotational lift. That's a combination lift. Can last only 10 seconds.
Porque no te puedo convencer que no te vendas, Roxana.
Nice synchronization on the twizzles.
From Fairfax, Virginia. Max is from Moscow. He's been living in the U.S. since '97. He became a citizen basically the final day of 2005. That amendment to the bill passed by Congress, signed by President Bush, that allowed Tanith Belbin to become a citizen. So too for Max. They are the first of 3 U.S. ice dance teams that we'll see here in the free dance. First time since '85 that the U.S. has had 3 at Worlds.
Their final circular footwork pattern. It was the footwork that got them into trouble at the U.S. Championships and kept them off of the podium. They missed a trip to the Olympics. This was a fine performance, everything in its place. That's the performance they were looking for at the U.S. Championships. Well done. Morgan only 18, Max just 21. I'm really impressed. We'll be seeing a lot of this young couple.
Yeah, they've been good on the international stage too. The junior world champs in 2005. Any problems there? Maybe in the footwork a little bit?
You know what? There's a tentativeness that you see at this age when you see a couple coming from the juniors into the seniors, a little bit held back. That's my only criticism. The expression there, the elements, very difficult, high levels on everything.
A young team, though. She is just a teenager, 18 years of age. He's 21. The Americans. It's been good for the U.S. ice dancers lately. Those in the top part of the standings overall, but here are your standings right now in the free dance. The Russians ahead of the Germans, then the French, they just got off the ice, and the Americans, Matthews and Zavozin, saw them skate just a moment ago, 152.97. So in the top 4 so far for the 2005 Junior World Champs.
Representing Great Britain, Shane and John Kerr.
And on the ice right now, the first team from Great Britain to finish in the top 10 at the Olympics since the great Torvill and Dean won a bronze back in '94. Sinead and John Kerr, brother-sister team, who went to the Worlds last year and came in 12th. This is their 3rd trip to the Senior World Championships. 3-time British national champs. In fact, they got some help from Christopher Dean with the choreography this year.
Skating to traditional Scottish music. There's a lot of innovation through this program. A beautiful opening on the serpentine lift. See, he's on an inside edge on the spread eagle.
Music because they're from Scotland. Livingston, to be exact. She is 27. He is 25, and they train in Edinburgh and Manchester, England. Mentioned Christopher Dean working on some of the choreography. John actually got a hold of his email address, emailed Chris Dean, and Chris said, yeah, if you can find your way over here to the Colorado area, I'd be glad to help.
You could see the influence of Christopher Dean throughout, the connections. Always innovative, difficult, right in here, and the closeness.
It's a much different sport, a much different animal these days than it was back when Torval and Dean were winning goals with all the new rules and the new scoring system. Torval and Dean, though, could have won gold under any scoring system
I have to
anytime.
agree with you. What's great about this performance so far, the speed, nice twizzles there, nice and strong. The performance does not let up. The speed, the glide on the blade, absolute. Performance. Watch the audience as they are on their feet.
There is a tie to Great Britain, of course, here in Canada. But also, this is a young team that, well, not all that young, 27, 25, but in terms of their international experience, fans don't know a whole lot about them, but they do cause a stir with crowds wherever they go.
And they've improved so much this season. It's kind of like they're ready to play with the big guys now.
Sinead and John Kerr from Great Britain. Well, you saw Matthews and Zavozin skate the Americans a little while ago, and afterwards they caught up with Peter Carruthers. Peter?
Morgan, it was March 9th that you were called up to come to the World Championships. What is your impression of your debut here?
It was just exciting to be here. We didn't expect to come. We were training just like hoping and praying that maybe we would go because we didn't want to end the season the way we did. And we were just so excited to get that call. We were jumping up and down, calling everyone, just the same as when he got his citizenship. It was like just as exciting. And we were just like, thank God there was a good reason for us doing all these run-throughs, and now we have a good motivation.
Absolutely. Max, what are you trying to take out of these World Championships specifically?
Well, we're just trying to improve our programs. We're trying to prove to ourselves that we can skate clean and just show a lot of energy to the crowd and toward the judges.
We want to fill the stadium with our emotions.
To compete for the United States as a U.S. citizen, what are your impressions on that?
I can't even express it. It's an amazing feeling to finally be able to represent the country I compete for in every way, and we're hoping that we'll do so in the future.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Peter.
Yeah, he's been really sincere and outspoken in expressing that for some time now, not just, at the end of December when he got his citizenship.
No, it's been something he's pursued and has been very passionate about.
And there are so many teams in ice dance, especially made up of one partner from one country and another from another.
Someplace else.
It's tough to keep it straight these days. Sinead and John Kerr with the marks now. Two sets as always, the technical marks, the program components. Three phases of the competition for the ice dancers here at the World Championships, and always 167.83, Susie.
Well, they have improved so much, and the program component mark, not bad.
Better than not bad. In first place from Scotland, the Kerrs, brother-sister team. Back to Calgary for more of the free dance in just a moment. This is just cleared after the warm-up, or it's about to, here In the free dance, Terry Gannon along with Susie Wynne, second to last group, including the Americans, Melissa Gregory, Dennis Petyukhov, and she fell close to the board. What's going on in these warm-ups?
These footwork sequences are tough. These elements are much harder.
So it's more complicated these days?
It's more complicated, that tracking, knowing where to go. There's just so much to think about.
And brief pain, but she did seem fine when she left the ice.
DOMNINA and Maxim SHABALIN.
This team survived the warm-up. As you look at the top three, the Cares from Great Britain won 167.83 in the lead, but set to go right now. Oksana Domnina and Maxime SHABALIN in 7th after the original dance.
Expressing their upper body while maintaining speed. They're very expressive skaters. Start with the serpentine footwork. Snakes from one end of the ice to the other. It earns the highest base value, so you will see it in most everyone's program.
Likely team from Russia to carry on that legacy. Navka and Kostomarov, of course, the Olympic gold medalists. They've moved on. So this team very much in a position like Navka and Kostomarov were back when Lobacheva and Averbuk stepped out in 2003. But there is not that depth that we've seen in the past from Russian ice dance teams. Step further, Susie, the U.S. depth at least as good as the Russians. At the Junior World Championships, when you look at the teams on the rise, until 97, Russia had won 19 of 20 dance titles there, but since only 4 of 9, and the U.S. has won 4 of them.
A lot of the Russian dancers and former competitors have come over to the United States and are now coaching and involved in our young dance program. They're skating with as much speed as the Cares. They skate closer together. But a team with their ability, great ability, they don't look like they're being aggressive enough compared to the teams that we're going to see coming up. They're a very appealing team. Didn't have the full-out movement that I remember from the Olympics, but a lot of Olympic fatigue setting in here at the World Championships.
You're comparing them to the Cares, too, and remember, overall, number-wise, they were about 8 points ahead of the Cares heading into the free dance. So the numbers might line up for the Russians, but maybe not as impressive in this portion. Marie-France Dubreuil, Patrice Lauzon, they're the last team to skate going for gold tonight. Available in high def on ESPN HD, as are we. Hopefully you're watching there. Domnina and SHABALIN from Russia needing 78.67. That's the number to always look at what they need to take the lead. So it's 178.39, and they are in first.
They have beautiful choreography, a lot of strength in their expressiveness in their upper body. Just didn't have the speed that I'm used to seeing them have.
And they are currently in first place.
The first team from Canada on the ice. A few screams, a couple of hollers, and some
Ladies
whistles.
and gentlemen, next to skate with current ranking of 8th from Canada, Megan Wing and Erin Lowe.
They made the world team for the first time back in 2000. Last year they came in 10th. Right now they're in 8th. Megan Wing, Erin Lowe, the 4-time Canadian silver medalist, and the veterans.
This program, a compilation of Argentinian tangos. Started their season with another free dance. It wasn't working out, and they changed this right before the Canadians.
They've been together for 12 years on the senior level, and they're pushing 20 overall. Finished 11th at the Olympics, but it's been tough since then. Aaron spiked his foot the day after returning from Torino doing the Yankee polka. That darn Yankee polka always gets you. He had surgery the following day to repair a severed tendon in between his toes and was on crutches for 10 days.
There's such a nice, Terry, quality about them. Being together for 20 years, there's a comfort level in all of their footwork. You trust them when you're watching them.
Quite been able to reach the pinnacle. And even at the Canadian Nationals, coming in second 4 separate occasions, mentioned the injury after Torino. Then last night, after getting healthy, you work towards this moment. Aaron got food poisoning last night. He was on IV through the day. She skated alone this morning at practice.
I wouldn't want to skate having the stomach flu or anything like that. You become so weak. Beautiful transitioning on the lifts, a nice set down, very soft placement. rotational lift. Great control. Very polished, well performed. What they've been through over the last couple of weeks, you cannot tell.
And a standing ovation in here, not so much for what they just did in their free dance, but overall in their careers. For so many years representing Canada. She is 30 years old. He's 31. There are a couple on and off the ice. Megan Wing, Aaron Lowe. Here in the second to last groups. Check their march. Don't forget the final group, including Isabelle Delobel, Olivier Schoenfelder from France. They're in third. Boy making his way to the Saddledome tonight to check out the action. Seated in section 113, row MC2, I believe. There was a complaint about his hat. Terry Gannon, Susie Wynne with the free dance underway here. Second to last group. Wing and Lowe from Canada, needing 92.96 to lead. There's the total for the free dance, Susie.
Well, they too have very high levels on their footwork and their lifts. It really gets down to the program component with these teams. Those are the skating transitions, the interpretation, the skating skills.
And there's a lot of wiggle room for the judges in terms of the program components. We'll get to more of that talking about BELBIN and AGOSTO. The Russians still on top. Now, the team that we saw riding the bikes backstage earlier from Italy. Federica Faella and Massimo Scali.
Next to skate, with current ranking of 10th, representing Italy, Federica Faella and Massimo Scali.
That final moment and the stare from the Italians we've come to know well. Not quite the Barbara Fusser-Poli stare.
No, it was not the death stare variety.
In 10th after the original dance. Three-time champs of Italy. Long way to go to get to the podium, though. More than 13 points out of third place. Forget the numbers. Forget the new system. This team plays to a crowd. Audiences love this team.
So loved among audiences everywhere as they're very warm performers, fully invested in every movement. And you'll see later in the program where his leg line and his body line is featured. They feature his talents throughout.
An inconsistent Olympic season for them, though. More was expected. Last year they came in 9th at the World Championships, including actually the last 2 years they came in 9th.
reversal there on that lift. A straight line lift. Perfectly balanced. And she has lovely flexibility through her back. Watch how her left knee is balancing on his 2 feet. Very clever. Swizzle turns a weakness for them. This is where they struggle. Those were good, however. You can see through that hand stretch, they give you everything they have, and that is to be appreciated.
He felt good about it. You could tell by his reaction.
More
Needs some help
staring?
getting up. Yeah, that's what they do. Was the dance good, though?
It was good. A little slow in the footwork sequences. The highlights, I consider lifts a highlight, are always very good and strong for this team, but they skate a little further apart and not with the speed and the intensity that we'll see later in the top 5.
Federica Faella and Massimo Scali from Italy in 10th place after the original dance, trying to move up with that effort. Albena Denkova, she and Maxim Staviski from Bulgaria are your leaders. Dancing her way backstage to be on the ice a little later as we continue here at the World Championships. Hopefully you saw the men's skate last night. Tonight it's the ice dancers. Then tomorrow the pairs free and the ladies free. A couple of gold medals on the line here at the ISU World Figure Skating Championships presented by Olay. We get it all started at 5:30 Eastern time from Calgary. The Italians, Faella and Scali, and a teddy bear of some sort. Pink one at that in the kiss and cry.
Federica Faella and Massimo Scali from Italy.
Just over 88 for the free dance, altogether 172.10, currently in second place. Been fun to watch the transformation in the kiss and cry as skaters start to understand these numbers over the last couple
There's
of
like
years.
layers of response.
Right.
Before it was immediate. That's new in this new judging system.
You knew it was a 6.0. It told you what place you were in. And Gregory and Petukhov, the Americans and married couple, will be out there shortly.
CHAIT and Sergei SAKHNOVSKI.
On the ice representing Israel, CHAIT and Sergei SAKHNOVSKI, 31 and 30 years of age respectively. They won the bronze medal all the way back in 2002. We were speaking of Torval and Dean a while ago. Made Bolero famous, of course. Everyone associates it with them. Well, you're going to hear it.
Wonderful speed heading into this combination lift, a straight line lift. He's on one foot, that's called a shoot the duck, and then into a rotational lift. Great control. entrance, a hand clasped behind his neck. Very tricky. A bit separated on the twizzles. Team for me that has been very consistent throughout the years, very hard-working, and I have to appreciate that. They never look nervous to me.
And beyond that, when you look at their entire careers, and I mentioned the bronze medal back in 2002, I think they're much more believable today than they were.
Than ever before.
Yeah, they were a little bit over the top back then, and for whatever reason, political reasons, judging panels, whatnot, they're not getting the credit now that they were back then. But I think more sincere, their performances today.
I'd have to agree with you.
CHAIT and Sergei SAKHNOVSKI representing Israel, and then the team representing the USA, Gregory and Petukhov, set to go. There's the team that won the silver medal at the U.S. National Championships 3 times and went to the Olympics recently. But in the kiss and cry, CHAIT, Sergei SAKHNOVSKI, and Sasha Zulin, you just saw him. He's one of their coaches, along with Evgeny Platov, also coaches the Olympic champs, Navka Kostomarov. His wife is Tatyana Navka. 181.29. Their totals, so CHAIT and SAKHNOVSKI into first place overall. Susie?
Well, so far they've had the strongest performance, the most invested, some of the most difficult lifts. Footwork a little slow in spots, but the most difficult so far.
On we move to the Americans.
With a current ranking of 9th, representing United States of America, Melissa Gregory and Dennis Petukhov.
Melissa and Dennis, 24 and 27 years of age. Number of American flags in the crowd here. People north of the border to watch them. The American silver medalists who came in 14th in Torino.
Free dance telling the story of Romeo and Juliet. Beautiful rotational lift. Watch the one-hand connection. That's so difficult, and you don't see a lot of couples trying that rotational lift because of that difficulty.
Do they normally get credit for the difficulty?
Yes. That lift would probably be considered a level 4, the highest degree of difficulty because of that one-arm connection. spin difficult because watch Dennis's position. He's in a back sit spin. Hard to hold that. I think this program was well skated. It's a theme, and the qualities within very nice. It suits them very well.
Seems to have a lot in it, too.
It does. It's jam-packed. You can see a lot of these dance teams exhausted. The end of the year, the free dance is a tall order.
And yet it takes away the speed at times, too, because it's so intricate.
I agree, and they're going to be changing some of the rules next year in terms of the footwork. It just takes up so much time and energy.
Melissa Gregory, Denis Petukhov. They've been married since 2001 after he came over from Kirov. Gregory and Petukhov in the kiss and cry. Nikolai Morozov, Valterizzo, their coaches.
Their technical score is 47.4.
Nikolai Morozov married to Shailene Bourne, world champion herself in ice dance. Born in Kratz, representing Canada, and she coaches as well these days. 86.45 for the free dance for the Americans. They needed 96.69 to lead, but overall 171.06.
Nice performance. It needed to move out. You could see the coaches during their performance saying, move, go, go, glide.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing that was lacking.
0.06. And they are currently in fourth place.
So fourth place for the Americans, as you heard. Another team, of course, BELBIN and AGOSTO, representing the U.S. in that final group. In fact, the second to last team. Canadians will be certainly welcomed warmly when they take the ice here, looking for a gold. There's Tanith BELBIN backstage. They are currently in fourth, looking for a comeback. The final groups will be out there. But it happens to be absolutely true tonight in ice dance. It doesn't get any closer than this, and it doesn't get any more wide open than this. Terry Gannon and Susie Wynne with you. 1 through 4, little more than 2 points separating. So BELBIN and AGOSTO still, even though we talk about them being in fourth as the Olympic silver medalist, they are right there. And Denkova and Staviski certainly have to go to win a gold medal when you've got the Canadians right behind, just a little more than 1 point.
And normally when you're entering this event, you get a sense of who's going to be 1 and 2. I haven't a clue.
Right. Really, you don't. You do not have a clue of what the podium's going to look like at the end of the night. So here we go. The first team to take the ice from France.
And currently in third place, representing France, Isabelle DELOBEL and Olivier Schoenfelder.
None of these teams have won a world championship before. This is a team that has not medaled at Worlds. They came in fourth last year, came in fourth at the Olympics. Isabelle DELOBEL, Olivier Schoenfelder, right now in third, just a little more than 2 points out of the lead.
Cala la notte, il cielo si scolora e Venezia si sveglia, delle ombre si agitano sullo sfondo, cuori di funamboli gillati dal vento, gli animi si allietano, la sublime Venezia appare come un soave e reciproco messaggio scambiato.
The theme of of this program, Carnival in Venice. Look at their costumes and how their hands are masks. Innovation throughout.
I temporali reclamano un po' di festa e di mistero. Entriamo nel palio. Nel suo carosello fa fremere i lunghi mantelli sulla laguna.
If they have an edge over the other teams here, what is it?
It's the technical aspect. They've been able to challenge the world champions last year, Novka and Kostomarov, technically. At the Olympics, they were second place in the free dance. It's in the program component, the old presentation mark, that they fall short. Sometimes the expression doesn't reach their eyes and their faces, and you don't get a sense of emotion. But watch this incredible balance move, the coordination, the timing. That's what they're best at. They were one of the first teams to receive the highest level 4 in their footwork sequences compared to all of the other teams. They're able to maintain flow and the difficulty at the same time. Serpentine lift, see one point of contact, his hand on her foot as he curves, changes curve. I enjoy how this team can bring out great innovation using costumes and theme. This program didn't quite lift to the top of performance. Great skating, but it's that emotion that I think is going to come down to that program component here in this last group.
Plenty of expression in the eyes on the gloves. Didn't reach their faces, maybe. Isabelle DELOBEL, Olivier Schoenfelder from France seem to be stuck on 4th in most of the major events over the course of the last year, including the Olympics, but in 3rd place heading to the free dance here.
They have wonderful lifts. Watch this combination lift. It begins on a straight line. That can only last 6 seconds. Beautiful coordination and balance. And then it reaches up here. Now watch the hands here. I love this. Now, how did they think of this? How did they have somebody even paint that? And every day, the practice that would take.
They're French.
And this balance move. I mean,
that's
nobody in this top 5 can do that but them. And then curve it.
And getting back up.
Forget it.
Break your back.
Yes.
Coach likes it. Crowd liked it. We'll see if the judges like it as they make their way to Kiss and Cry, and we come back to Calgary momentarily. holding her coach's hand right now. Can't bear to look at the marks yet. He's looking. 50.52 for those technical scores you were talking about.
Beautiful technical scores. They receive almost all level 4s for their elements except for their circular step sequence.
And he says, okay, so-so.
Comme ci, comme ça.
That's right. 195.44. So clearly in the lead, but the rest of the final group still to come. And now the anxious moments really start for them.
Next to skate, and currently in 5th place, representing Lithuania, Margarita Drobiazko and VANAGAS.
It is pretty amazing what they've been able to do and what they decided to do. Margarita Drobiazko, VANAGAS currently in 5th place, just a little more than 3 points out of the lead. But it was 1992 in Oakland with Kristi Yamaguchi, Victor Petrenko, Mishka Tunik, Dmitriev, Klimova, Ponomarenko, where they started their career at Worlds.
I think they've had a lot of longevity in their career because they love skating. They are such passionate people and tremendous skaters. A difficult Bielman position on this dance spin. Beautiful, aggressive twizzles on the outside edge, the second set, very difficult.
Away from competition for 4 years, they continued to skate. They didn't compete in the eligible ranks, though, and the last time they appeared at Worlds was 2002, when they came in 4th.
Beautiful entrance. So secure. reverse rotational, very hard to turn that direction. From start to finish, they were fully invested in this program. The speed was so impressive to me. The difficulty all there. I think they outperformed DELOBEL and Schoenfelder.
Do you really? You would
I
put
do.
them ahead of the French team right now.
I would.
Now remember, they were a little bit behind them going into the free dance. But, all right, we'll see what the judges think about that. There's been a feeling throughout much of their career that they've been undermarked and not really appreciated. In fact, even in their comeback, skating in Lyon at the Europeans where they won the bronze medal, that was greeted with boos and catcalls, not because the crowd disagreed with them being on the podium. They thought they should be the gold medalist. DROBIAZKO, VANAGAS will get their marks. BELBIN at AGOSTO. Does Ben ever look nervous? Even if he is inside, he never looks nervous. Denkova and Staviski next.
Great job of incorporating this technical element. She somersaults into this curve lift. Beautiful extension through her leg. Nice control. Watch how his blade just gets a nice soft run. And there was no telegraphing their lifts. They were just boom, right in here. The balance. She's balancing on his knee. I love this straight line lift. And he leans back, taking a little bit more of a chance there.
See if the judges agree with you now.
I almost don't care.
You don't care at all. Who are you kidding? 99.33 to lead. That's the number. You add those together. There it is. Just enough. Susie, you should be a judge.
My goodness, that might be the first time I've ever been right.
I'll miss you. Don't go on the panel. 195.87. DROBIAZKO and VANAGAS have taken the lead over DELOBEL and Schoenfelder, which told you was unpredictable. There is, by the way, a Lithuanian judge on the panel tonight. And it's a panel, oh boy, that includes a man named Yuri Balkov, who you may remember at the '98 Olympics. He phoned a Canadian judge to give her the results of the ice dancing competition. One problem, they hadn't taken place yet. Suspended for a year. And also tried to kind of swap votes. And he's back. Here you go. Here are your leaders overall heading to the free dance. Albena, Denkova, Maxim, Staviski. They came in 5th in Torino.
This is a modern arrangement of Adagio by Tommaso Albenoni. And this is a team that can handle great difficulty everywhere. This combination lift, back-to-back entrance, that's so difficult. And then a reverse rotational. In particular, watch Maxim. And all of his transitions, he almost moves his body lateral, around, up, down. That's such an ability of a modern dance ability. Most skaters cannot do that. They would lose control. They need that upright posture. Not Maxim. serpentine footwork, beautiful. Tend to watch the blade and how it is able to make curves and lobes. And they keep a smooth quality throughout. This has been an area of improvement for this couple. Twizzle's a little mistimed. Extraordinary transitioning. Throughout that program, they were in their own world. They were in their zone. The speed, the quality, the edging, the athleticism, I'm impressed.
A bit of a bobble on that last transition.
Slightly, but I almost was forgiving of it because the rest of it was so beautiful. I haven't seen that type of edging, like I said, in the serpentine footwork. And they were emotional toward one another and to the audience. I always think of, well, could the other team skate this free dance? And, you know, compare, could BELBIN and AGOSTO skate this free dance? Could DROBIAZKO and VANAGAS? I'm not so sure. It's difficult. It's good.
They've medaled twice. They've never won. They had the lead heading to the free dance. Denkova and Staviski. Two teams left. The Americans are next. The Lithuanians have the lead. And the French may be left off the podium yet again.
He scores for Albena, Denkova, and Maxim.
Dubreuil and Vanagas have the lead from Lithuania, but they were 3.28 points behind this team, Denkova and Staviski. And we'll see if they made it up here. These guys had the lead going into the free dance. Now the marks.
The program component score, please.
51-56, that's very good, but 48-18. And 99.74, 199.14. There you go, certainly enough, Susie.
99.74 points in the free dance.
There's so much to like about this program. Slight bobbles and the twizzles, you could sort of split hairs, but overall an exceptional quality-filled free dance.
So they extended that lead a little bit further, at least over the Lithuanians, and the French still behind. Denkova and Staviski, at least for the moment, are on top with 2 to go.
Representing the United States of America, Tanith BELBIN and Benjamin AGOSTO.
It's never happened before. A U.S. ice dance team winning a world championship. Tanith BELBIN, Ben AGOSTO came to Calgary, you know, in their minds, expecting to be in a position to do it, and maybe even expecting to do it. Coming off the Olympic silver medal, the Russians who won the gold are not here. They're in fourth, but just a little more than 2 points off the lead heading to this portion of the competition. Here they go.
extraordinary twizzles, beautiful unison and speed, and a free foot in a very difficult position, the best so far. Showing nice attack and speed on his footwork. Get a sense they're really fighting. As you said, Terry, they want and expect that medal, and they know that they have to work for it. And they're doing just that. Transitioning throughout their serpentine lift, a cool entrance. This dance. They could have held back and said, we're going to play it safe, but they fought. Some separations on the last footwork, but I love their speed. I love the intention. A great performance, lots of sensuality and passion.
Was it better than the Bulgarians?
It was right up there. I think it was definitely better than DROBIAZKO and VANAGAS in terms of speed and an attack.
Tanith made her world debut in front of a Canadian audience back in 2001 when we went to Vancouver, and now she could win her adopted country's first world gold in front of another Canadian audience right here in Calgary. We'll see. BELBIN and AGOSTO of the U.S., they seem to be happy with it.
The combination spin has improved drastically this season. She's in a layback position. It's very hard. See how close they are. He's in a low sit spin position. The blade's so close, and then they transfer their weight. She gets in a beautiful extension through her back, holding him tightly around the neck, and he's in a low position. Very good. And this is what makes them great, just how they interact with one another in the crowd. Their faces are always lit up. Beautiful expression. But a little mistake towards the end by Ben, a little misstep, a separation in their handhold. These are the things that can kind of creep in. Great hanging on. They kept fighting and didn't lose any speed after that.
If you're a Canadian in the Saddledome, you're in a tough spot. You want to cheer for for Tanith, certainly. She's from the Montreal area. But the next team, the final team, the team that you really want to win, Dubreuil and Lauzon. The Canadians out there trying to breathe right now. Igor Spielbaum, their coach, left side of the screen.
See, that was the style. See what I'm saying?
I think Ben's making some sort of excuse.
I was hanging on the skin of my teeth.
Skin of her teeth.
The scores for Tanith Belbin and Benjamin Augusto from the United States of America.
I meant it.
The technical score, please.
Hey, Mary, I love you.
Their technical score is 52.48.
Here we go. Scores being read now. They need 101.91. High technical marks. The program components, those were low in the original dance. They're lower here than the technical, so 196.74, Susie. And that is not enough.
Well, we said earlier there's a little wiggle room in that program component. I thought that could have been a little bit higher.
So Belbin and Augusto into second place, making Tanith smile, but it's not a huge smile. It's not an eruption here. They will medal. One team left. They're in second. They can't be bumped any further than third.
Ladies and gentlemen, next to skate, and currently in second place, representing Canada, Marie-France Dubreuil and Patrice Lauzon.
Some came to see Tanith. Most came to see this team. Marie-France Dubreuil, Patrice Lauzon. We revisited the fall, crash, the injury in Torino. And now here they are. Missed 2 weeks of training. Will this be their last major event? There is some talk that they will retire. They have not said that officially, but there is a feeling that that could happen. And what a way to move on with the gold medal in second place after the original dance. And it was very close. They were just a little more than 1 point off the lead. How much can your life change in 1 month?
In every way possible. This is a team that we miss seeing at the Olympics. But I think today's performance has made up for that. They've always been great storytellers.
And now you stand there as long as you can and you take it all in. As an athlete in any sport, there aren't that many opportunities for bows with this much satisfaction. At home, at this level, to perform like you just did. And Marie-France Dubreuil, Patrice Lauzon, I think, thanking this crowd as much as the crowd is thanking them for the effort. It's an image they'll remember for the rest of their lives. But back to reality.
No, I don't want to go back into reality.
You've got to. I'm bringing you back down to reality. Cold, hard reality. It wasn't enough.
Well, there's so much, you know, to make a comment, it almost takes away from the moment, in my opinion, but they have the most beautiful lifts, and the way they caress the ice and some of the footwork and the great storytelling, that compensates for maybe a lack of speed or some of the aggressiveness we saw with the other teams. You know, they captured me. They brought me in, and as we said earlier, that program component, that artistry mark, that counts at this level, because all of these teams are exceptional athletes and technicians. So I guess I didn't answer your question.
Yeah, you absolutely did. Too close to split them at this point. And it depends where your emphasis lie.
Exactly.
Staviski backstage just barely wants to peek at that monitor. That's it. And BELBIN and AGOSTO know they won't wear the gold medal, but they do know that they will stand on the podium. As it builds in the Saddledome. Seventh place at the World Championships last year. Maxim still not watching the monitor, listening along with the rest of us to what the crowd does. And they like the early numbers, but look at that number, 101.03. Nope, not enough.
Marie-France Dubreuil and Patrice Lauzon from Canada.
They don't know it yet. The crowd doesn't know it yet.
100.57 points in the women's program. Their total competition score is 198.69. And they are currently in second place.
And they just figured it out. The crowd just figured it out. But a nice hand nonetheless. I think appreciating the fact that they're going to medal, and they're right behind the Bulgarians, but it's Denkova and Staviski who win. Marie-France Dubreuil, Patrice Lauzon settle for the silver medal. And maybe settle is not the right word here, because
they accept it.
For that moment there was disappointment, but you could tell right away from where they've been to this point, that's a huge accomplishment.
You can tell they appreciate their fans, they appreciate their skating, they appreciate one another, and that's more important than everything.
But for the first time, Denkova and Staviski are atop the podium at the World Championships. And for the Bulgarians, it is the first title for Bulgaria in any discipline at the World Championships. That's pretty special. Canadians second, and the Americans joining them on the podium. Gregory and Petukhov of the U.S. finishing up ninth. The pairs, we saw them from Great Britain finishing right behind Wing and Lowe in 11th. The U.S., by the way, will again have 3 spots at the World Championships in ice dance next year based on the finishes. Maxim, yeah, now he can look. Albena Denkova as well. Pretty cool shot of him not wanting to look at the scores. And let's check in with Peter Carruthers, who is with Tanith and Ben right now. Peter.
Thank you, Terry. Tanith Belbin in 4th place coming into this free dance just before the music started. I want to know what your thoughts were.
I was realizing before the music started that I felt so much better than I did the Olympics. At the Olympic Games, I was so nervous. I didn't feel like I could perform my best because I was just overwhelming myself with emotions. And here I realized all of a sudden how much more comfortable I felt, more confident, and more ready to deliver this great final performance of the free dance.
Now, Ben, right before the free dance, I saw you and you said one thing's for sure, this is going to be finished soon. Why did you say that? Sum that up.
Well, coming into this event has been a difficult time for us. I mean, coming from the Olympic Games, such a high off of that, and then having to come back and really concentrate and get back into training was very difficult. So the whole season seemed very long with injuries and ups and downs. So I was just so happy to be finally at our final event, going to our last dance, and to perform it so well was just wonderful.
Now, what are your thoughts on this bronze medal here at the World Championship?
Oh, I think it's great. I think we performed amazingly well here. We're really proud of ourselves. You know, we want to get the full set before we get the gold, so we couldn't just go from second to first. We have to get the bronze first. But I dare anyone to say that ice dancing isn't an exciting sport, because this event and the Olympic Games as well proved how exciting our sport has become, and it's thrilling to be a part of it at this point.
Well, congratulations, Olympic silver medalists and now world bronze medalists. Congratulations, you guys. Terry Gannon, back to you.
All right, Peter, thank you very much. Our Orida move of the day from the Canadians, Dubreuil and Lauzon, Susie, who actually won the free dance portion of the competition. The Lithuanians were second, and the winners overall, the Bulgarians, were third.
It was a great competition. As Tanith summed it up, this was a great, great evening. A beautiful lift, beautiful expression between Dubreuil and Lauzon.
Coming back from the injury, the hip injury, which she thought at least was a broken hip, but the Bulgarians win it overall. It used to be a time when all the placements were the same. First, second, third phase of the competition.
It did not change.
They're all over the map nowadays. Bulgarians, the winners